Hello, everybody. I think I'm going to progressively see if I can get that longer and longer every week. I'm Samantha Harms with the Garrison Public Affairs Office. Welcome back to yet another episode of our amazing podcast. This week, we are talking anti-terrorism awareness and all the things that you need to know. So let's get right on into it on this week's episode of The Great Big Podcast.
Welcome back. This is Eric Franklin with your Garrison Public Affairs. And this week on the podcast, we have our friends from DPTMS. Tell me exactly what DPTMS, because I mess it up every time. What is DPTMS?
It's the Directorate of Plans, Mobilization, Training, and Security.
I'm glad I'm not the only person who gets that messed up from time to time. Do you mind introducing yourself for me real quick?
All right. I'm Victor Haig from the Force Protection Office.
And I'm Nia Payne from the Force Protection Office.
And so you guys do the anti-terrorism awareness training, right? Or that's you guys' bread and butter up there?
Yes, we do.
So this quarter, August starts the last quarter. I mean, we're in the middle of the last quarter. What is the theme for this quarter?
So the theme is setting conditions for the future.
And just for those who may not know, and sometimes I may forget, what exactly is anti-terrorism training and why do we do it so much?
Basically, anti-terrorism training is just so that we can be vigilant and make everyone aware of any vulnerabilities that might be out there that can be exploited. So what we try to do is just make everyone aware so that way we can be a safer installation and more or less be a hard target, not a soft target.
Okay. Can you provide us with some examples or steps of how soldiers and civilians can take to protect critical information?
Basically, just be aware of what's going on around you. Don't give a telltale signs of things that you're doing or deployments or field exercises. Don't say, next week we're going out to the field for 2 weeks. Just kind of protect that information because you don't know what nefarious characters are out there. And it's kind of like a puzzle. Someone says one thing, somebody says something else, and then you put it together and they get the big picture. So it's very important that we practice good OPSEC, and that goes hand in hand with force protection to protect the forces.
OPSEC. I've heard that word before. Tell me what OPSEC is.
Operation security. Basically, just don't let people know what we're doing.
Okay. So basically, it's almost just like a big game of cat and mouse. I want to make sure that I can't have anyone knowing what's going on. Except for my supervisors, I got to let them know what's going on.
Correct.
But outside of them, I want to make sure I keep as much information close hold as possible. Correct?
Correct.
Good. And a good rule of thumb is those that have a need to know.
Yeah.
So if they don't need to know, then maybe you shouldn't share it with them. And if you're not sure if they know, make sure you get it vetted before you share that information.
Can you share with us where any AT training has played a pivotal role in preventing potential attacks? Maybe not necessarily here on the installation, but just in general.
A while back, there was the Abdo case where that person was trying to, do something to hurt soldiers on the installation.
Okay.
And one of the community partners, a local gun shop, notified the authorities that this individual is asking questions about gunpowder and other things, and it kind of seemed suspicious. So basically, bottom line was that person at the gun shop contacted authorities based on the suspicion of what this person was asking, and it turned out after the FBI and other people investigated that he had some plans to hurt people. So,
wow.
Yeah. So, and they were able to stop that before anything bad happened.
Okay. That's pretty cool. I did not know about. Now I got to go be nosy and go read the some reports and see what was going on there. Just real quick. So can you tell us how anti-terrorism training has evolved over the past 10 years?
I would say 9/11 was, the real cusp of seeing the anti-terrorism AT program evolved. So once upon a time, you was able just to drive up to the installation and they'll let you on.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have checks at the gates, not just your ID card. They'll do random searches of your vehicle. To get into certain areas, you must be vetted. You just can't walk into an area. Also, our barrier system, so where you could park directly in front of a building, now there's standoff distances that have been imposed throughout the installation and around some of our critical facilities. So that's some of those are the reasons or how the program has evolved over the last 10, 15 years.
How would you tell your family members to participate in AT training? Well, because they don't have to go through it, but they're a part of the AT training. They're part of the military family. How would you instruct or tell family members to partake in it?
Well, we have the advertisement. So this podcast, if they're listening, we're inviting you to partake in the AT Awareness Month seminars that will kick off on 1 August. Again, we look at the sponsor, that military member, to pass that information on that we share. It is absolutely critical that the family members are involved because they're the ones that are the touch or the touch point to a lot of outside of the installation. They may be having coffee with a friend and like, oh, by the way, my husband said. So bringing that awareness and making them aware that what they say can impact their sponsor or the missions that's going on here at Fort Cavazos is important.
What would be some of the common mistakes that you've seen where information that could possibly lead to bigger leaks have you seen on the internet?
Well, basically when people, kind of put out information about what their units are doing or what their job is and things like that, I understand that they're just trying to be social, but sometimes like I said before, those little pieces of the puzzles add up, so sometimes you just need to be very careful and ask your family to be, very careful. So if you come home and you tell your spouse, hey, I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks, your spouse might get on social media and say, hey, my spouse is going to be in the field for a couple of weeks. You might not want to say something like that. You might want to just, we're just going to take a hiatus or something, So not trying to let the cat out of the bag, as they would say.
Just couple more questions for you guys. With OPSAC, why is it important to constantly always practice it? Just at work, at home, just in your daily lives?
To disrupt the norm. So normally they're taking surveillance or somebody's watching you, and you just disrupt the pattern. So it makes it harder for them to collect that information. Again, sharing mission movements or PCSing or you name it. It's good to protect that information because, as Victor mentioned, they're putting pieces of the puzzle together. It could be something as simple as I'm PCSing to Germany, and then somebody else posts something, and there you have it. They know that this person from this particular unit does this particular job. They're moving to this location in Germany.
Okay. This month you have a bunch of different seminars that you have lined up. How can someone get involved, and how can someone attend those classes or attend that one in-person class that you have later on in this month?
So we don't have any seminars this month.
Okay.
However, in August we'll have seminars that start on 1 August and every Tuesday through the 22nd of August. And they will range from AT Level 2, Antiterrorism Level 2 training, or Level 1 training, OPSEC Level 1 training, TARP, which is in-person only. So these seminars that we're bringing to the community, they're going to be via MS Teams and in person at the House Auditorium.
Okay.
TARP is going to be the only training that they must show up in person to fulfill that requirement. Just show up at the date and time as advertised. We have a trifold with the schedule that's going to be posted throughout the installation. Just show up. Each unit member, they would sign in or check in with their AT Level 2 officer that's within their unit to get the credit. So we're not going to be tracking each individual, but we'll be providing the training to all.
Okay. And then just do you guys have anything that you want to talk about your mission that you have up there?
Basically, I'd just like to ask everyone if they stay vigilant.
Okay.
See something, say something, because, force protection, we can't be everywhere. so everyone's eyes and ears lend to the mission. So if you see something that looks suspicious or is out of place, report it. It could be something, it could be nothing. And most of the time, it's going to probably be nothing. But that one time, if it is something, then we've been protected. But there's been many things that's happened on the installation where they have found a suspicious package or something like that. It's actually turned out to be nothing. Somebody left a backpack somewhere, but it's better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah.
So if you see something that kind of looks out of place, or a package, or even if a package is delivered and it's got nefarious markings as far as no, you didn't order it.
Yeah.
It didn't come, it's not addressed specifically to you, oil stain, something that looks bad, report it, because, it could be something dangerous. And we don't want bad things to happen to the good people of Fort Cavazos.
Okay. And do you have anything?
I don't have any particular examples, but I guess the bottom line up front is we want people to know that they're a key player, regardless of if they're military or a civilian. They're a key player in this program being successful. And just like the measures that we take at home, we all got Ring cameras now and security cameras and all these things in place in our homes to protect our homes. We want to do the same thing for the installation. So these seminars that we have coming up, they're essential to carrying out the program. And the max participation, we want to see a lot of faces out there in attendance during the AT Awareness Month.
And just real quick, they can be active duty military members or a GS civilian, they can be active duty or they can be a civil servant, correct, to attend those classes?
Yes, sir.
Or they can even be family members if they would like to.
Oh, so it's open to.
We're all one big happy family here at Fort Cavazos. So
okay. Is there anything else that I didn't cover that you guys want to mention, or is there any notes that you want to put out?
Just the big thing is our AT Awareness Month. It is kicking off 1 August, which is on a Tuesday, and that will occur every Tuesday through the 22nd of August. I believe on the 8th, and I don't have the schedule in front of me, we're going to be MS Teams only.
Okay.
So all the other seminars will be in person and MS Teams at the same time, with the exception of the 8th of August.
And those are going to be at House Theater.
House Auditorium.
Or House Auditorium.
House Theater, same thing. Yeah. No, it's not the same. Depending upon who you ask, it's the same thing. Me?
You ask somebody from the 1970s, it would probably be House Theater.
I've been corrected on House Auditorium.
So, true story. This again, how old I am. We used to watch movies there at House Theater, and I still call it House Theater, but I get corrected all the time. If someone wanted to reach out to you guys, where could they reach out to you to learn more about the AT program?
They could contact our office directly, and that's at 254-288-6466 or 254-286-5376. And you will be able to reach myself, Nia Payne, or Victor at those numbers.
All right. We'd like to thank you for coming on the segment, and we will talk with you guys later. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, not going to be online for a while. Got a big mission to kill some terrorists in Terra Islamabad tomorrow, so don't worry about me.
An ambush today left 15 soldiers dead outside of Terra Islamabad. Will your next Facebook post or tweet kill you or your friends? The terrorists are waiting for you to give them the information they need to kill Americans and the American dream. When you share sensitive information on social networking sites, you might as well join the terrorists. Don't be a terrorist. Remember OPSEC.
This message brought to you by the Don't Help Terrorists Murder the American Dream Coalition.
I have to say, I know I missed out on the interview, but I know you guys were taught a lot, right?
Yes, we were. With everything always changing, I think it's important that we have visitors like that comes in and just tells us how we can stay safe and what we can do to remain safe and secure as far as family members and soldiers.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. I think it's important to stay in the know as much as possible.
Yeah, it's almost like being nosy.
Almost.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of staying in the know, it's that time for some news briefs.
News.
I want to do like a little kind of, when I say that, it just sounds like it would be the sound effect for that.
I got a button for that.
Perfect. Okay, so we have to, first and foremost, we are letting people know that they got to conserve water where you can, because it has been incredibly hot,
Yes.
incredibly dry, and Belton Lake is currently at 64% capacity.
Whoa.
So water conservation is becoming more important for everybody every second.
Okay.
It matters. So the Directorate of Public Works, DPW, official want to let people know that the two most important things that they can do are to report leaks both on and off the installation.
Okay.
So if you're on the installation and you see a water leak, you need to call DPW at 254-287-2113. Or if you're off post, report leaks to the local city water departments. And then the second thing that you can do is limit watering your grass. I know people aren't going to like this, but once weekly, either in the morning or in the late evening.
Okay.
Your grass is going to get a little dead.
My grass has been dead since May. So.
Yeah. See, I live in an RV, so I don't have this problem.
You don't even have a little sliver of,
I mean, we have grass, but it's not my problem to worry about if it dies or not.
Okay.
But I do water my plants, so,
Okay.
Sad. My plants look really sad. So that is like now for the foreseeable future, make sure to conserve water where you can. Coming up tomorrow, Friday, and then on August 5th, the hospital, Carl R. Darnell Army Medical Center's pediatric clinic is going to be offering school and sports physicals.
Oh, man.
So back to school is going to be here. We're starting school again before you know it. Your kids
Yeah.
are going back, which means they want to participate in sports or, I don't know, whatever they need physicals for.
Sports, I think that's
I think
it.
it's just sports, right?
Yeah.
What do I know? They are offering those on, like I said, Friday, and then August 5th. Friday is going to be from 1 to 4 p.m.
Okay.
And August 5th is going to be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. There is no appointment necessary. You just have to make sure you bring in the necessary forms.
Okay.
So you should have been given, your sports physical paperwork by your school. Bring that with you. Otherwise, they're going to say, I don't know what you want us to do for you.
Okay.
Well, maybe not. Maybe they'll be nicer about it.
Yeah.
Who's to say?
But that's the basics.
Yeah, the basics. And then what else do we got going on here? Oh, we've talked a lot about the Civilian Human Resources Agency, or the Civilian Personnel Agency.
Office?
Center? No, CPAC.
CPAC. Civilian Personnel Advisory Center. That's what it's called. CPAC. Yeah.
Center, right?
Yeah.
We're just having a brain fart here on the show.
I'm gonna have my phone.
Okay,
Look it
anyways,
up.
so we talked about them a lot. They're doing another Federal Employment 101 for spouses, for military spouses. That's on July 25th. Same as everything else. It's from 9 to 11. They're going to talk all about federal employment.
Okay.
So if you want to register, you need to call 254-288-2004. And then last but not least, July 27th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. is going to be Santa's Workshop at the Great Place.
Woot woot.
Their annual Christmas in July event. So kids get to go into the workshop. It's the one time of the year they get to do that. A certain somebody might be there. Kids get gifts. Adults might get some Christmas swag. It's an all-around good time, good event. So, yeah.
Good times to be had by all.
Absolutely. So that's what we got going on here.
It's getting busy, staying busy. That's what we do. Well, again, thank you guys for listening to the show. We hope that you enjoyed it enjoyed listening to it just as much as we enjoyed making it for you. I hope that you guys have a great evening, morning, afternoon, whatever time of day you're listening to this. And as always, take care of each other. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
This podcast is a U.S. Army Garrison Fort Cavazos and Fort Cavazos Public Affairs production. Have a question or want to share some of your wisdom with us? Drop us an email at fortcavazos@gmail.com. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Fort Cavazos Army. And as always, Be sure to leave us a review and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.